Yes.
Yeah, we are live. Thank you, everybody, for joining us again for this bi-weekly show. I guess it is bi-weekly, right, Luis?
Yeah, it's about that much at this
Really,
point.
weeks. Today, we are going to be talking about Powers of 10, or X, 3, and House of X, number 3. There will also be a chance to win some variant covers from Marvel, and I'll bring this up again throughout the middle of the episode and how you can enter to win. There'll be a couple of chances because Marvel was kind enough to send me some variants of House of not just House and Powers of 10, but also variants of things like Gwenpool and Absolute Carnage. So I'll be making a bundle. The only thing is like after you win, just email me your address and things, and at the end, Marvel, whatever they end up sending me, I'll make a bundle for you guys for the winners and send off to you all. So, and congratulations to our other winners. I do want to say Zero the Hero was the winner of Absolute Carnage, as well as Comic Book Crazy. So they'll be getting some kind of package too at the end when this is all said and done. So now joining me again is my buddy Luis from Comics Guide 101. What is
Hey,
going on, man?
hey, what's up, man? How you been?
Been good. Been good. Been a little busy, but good. Reading X-Men, which is always making me happy weekly. It's nice.
Yeah.
Um, so just in case you haven't been here for the rest of the reviews, we're going to be breaking down the issues. So there's going to be talk of spoilers, what happens in these issues, and then, rating them. Because it's been a lot of fun to read X-Men. If you haven't seen the other episodes, you can kind of tell how much of a dork I get when it comes to X-Men and how much I enjoy each little bit of information that Jonathan Hickman puts into these books. So let's talk about Powers of 10, number 3. And again, just in case, spoilers, and we'll do the contests towards the middle. I do want to warn everybody again that there is going to be spoilers.
Deep dive.
So this is the issue where you find out uh, what is going on right after uh, Powers of 10 2, which I guess was kind of a big setup issue. So within the pages of this issue, you have this church that is, one can assume, putting techno-organic viruses into babies against their will. Therefore, humans are now part machine, which, if you've read anything about X-Men, so this is taking place 800 years into the future. And if you read X-Men for a while, you know that Cable is around that time. Cable's from like 1,000 years into the future, and Bishop's like from 100 years into the future. Neither one of those characters show up, by the way. Not
I,
yet.
I, yeah. The minute I saw that, I was like, okay, where's Cable in this? Because the techno virus thing, I was like, oh, that seems like a Cable thing, and I was kind of expecting him to show up. I was
Mhm.
kind of surprised he hasn't used that card yet, considering it's not a time travel story, but we are dealing with different times. So I'm really surprised he hasn't pulled that card yet.
Different Earths. Yeah, we
Yeah.
don't. Well, I don't think he's going to be a big player in this, honestly,
Okay.
because as we find out from here, and we'll get to the ending, but we are also reintroduced to the characters that we have seen before, and towards the end of Powers of 10, number 2, and that is Apocalypse, which we saw him. That was the big cliffhanger. But we also get a rundown of his 4 horsemen.
I love that.
Now, this is cool
I
because
love.
you have War, which is Wolverine, our Wolverine, James Howlett, but Logan. You have Death, who is Zorn, Quan Yin Zorn, who was a character that was introduced in New X-Men,
Mhm.
but not a real character. And then the retcon was that there was an actual Zorn, and that was during Chuck Austin's run. That
Mhm.
Magneto wasn't Zorn. That who has a star for a head. That was kind of his mutant power. Then you have Pestilence, who is North, and he is the DNA. They took the DNA of Lorna Dane and Emma Frost to make him. So you have Polaris and White Queen, and they made him. And then you have Famine, who is Krakoa, which I think we guessed that the last time. Krakoa and Cypher, which is Doug Ramsey, because the two have been working together from what we saw in the 10th year. Well, in this you find out, how close they've been working together.
Right.
So that's
Right.
really cool. So we get the four horsemen of apocalypse because he's always had, and then you find out what exactly they are trying to do. So Luis, without spoiling anything, what did you think of this issue of Powers of 10 number 3?
Okay, so the last time we spoke, I wasn't too hot on it was Powers, right? That I wasn't too hot on, or was it House?
Yeah, yeah. You didn't House of X, I think I broke down the the timelines and stuff, and I got all Charlie from Always Sunny
Yeah.
on You Guys with the theories, but hey, I was right by the end of this issue. I was like,
You
hey, okay. So
called it.
but Powers is the one that you were like, it was okay. And I thought it was just kind of a segue to get us here.
Right. I feel that since the Moira McTaggart issue, this has been the strongest issue. I really liked the forward momentum that they put on this. It felt like the story got to move again, and I know there's that one dude that got mad at me last time because but
It's okay.
like I actually felt that this actually had more momentum, whereas the last issue was okay. It was all set up. We're setting things up. We're setting things up, and now we're kind of seeing the payoff of that. And that's what I really dug about this is that this was an issue all about payoff for me of a lot of stuff that was being set up. We see what they were going towards, and it sets up something huge at the end, which I was like, oh, that makes sense. Like that, yeah, that kind of makes sense with what they're setting up.
Absolutely. And by the time you get to the end, you're like, oh, that's why that timeline. So, um, because that's why I think I broke down the timelines, because every little bit that Jonathan Hickman writes usually, you know, eventually gets uh, brought up somewhere, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you have the character of Omega Sentinel and Nimrod hanging out, and they're just chatting. And Nimrod doesn't seem to be worried about this apocalypse and his horsemen coming in and striking,
Yeah.
because they found out, what we. It's like a MacGuffin at first, right? There's a drive to get in here. There's something that they need, but we don't know what it is. I mean, you can kind of guess, and I was guessing throughout the whole thing, and I'm like, oh, of course, this makes sense. But so you have Cardinal, who is a new favorite character. Cardinal and Rasputin show up
I
as
love them.
well, and
I
they
love
fight off all the Sentinels, and of course there's some deaths. And I wonder, this. I mean, these two characters are popular. We know they're going to show back up. We know
Oh
they're
yeah.
going to get limited series depending on who's writing it. I have no idea who's going to end up writing it, and I'm just assuming it because when characters get really popular, uh, they know when the time to strike is. They're like, okay, Rasputin and Cardinal, they're going to get a limited series. It's going to be written by Peter Milligan or whomever, and that'll be that. I mean, it's comic books, it's business, it's good because I want to see more. I don't want them dead, right? Because that's like you when you were reading this, did it surprise you how quickly like Cardinal got taken out?
It kind of did, to be honest. I mean, this is comics, and one, this is comics, and two, this is X-Men. So, like you said, they're watching this, and they're probably like, okay, what characters can we mine to get a series out? So he'll be back in some way, shape, or form, I'm sure, as along with a lot of these characters. But it did surprise me with like, oh, cool, this is new. Oh, he's gone. Oh, he's dead.
Oh, absolutely. He is just laying there, and I
Yeah,
was like, oh, that can't be the end of that guy. He's
yeah.
really cool.
You know, it's pretty definitive. He's dead. He's got a smoldering hole in his chest by
Yeah.
that point. So I'm like, oh man, yeah, he's totally gone. I love Rasputin. I really want a single issue series of Rasputin.
Oh, I'm sure we're going to get one. I think that is one of my favorite parts is the standoff between Rasputin and the Omega Sentinel when she is holding Zorn here. And the Omega Sentinel is pretty much just saying, you're not going to do it. If you pull off his helmet, it's going to be a singularity. We're all going to die. And she's like, yeah, you're right. And she pulls off his helmet. And I love the big old goofy smile on his face, like, oh yeah, I'm free. Boom. That's the end of that. or those characters as we know it. And I do have a theory about that once we get here towards the end. So
If
then you
you
have Apocalypse and a few characters left. What's up?
if you'll excuse me, I'm just gonna put my dog away real quick. Okay.
Down or away?
Just
Away.
away, not
Okay.
down. I'm not putting her down.
My dog is running around down here too. So yeah,
No,
go ahead.
she's got another 10 years before that. Thank God. I'll be back.
Yeah, man. Let me get to the chat and see where you guys are since Luis has left me for just a little bit. Thank you everybody for joining me. And if you just now joined again, thank you to Marvel and David Gabriel. I will be giving away some variants today. There'll be two chances that you could win this, and the way it's going to work is I'll ask a question, and whatever you win today, I'll add other stacks of variants as I get them from Marvel. I'm not going to say you're going to get a whole set of variants, but whatever they end up sending me, I will be happy to share with you guys. As I don't collect variants, so I collect hardcovers. So let's see. So where we were, we now have Apocalypse and the rest of his horsemen fighting off these sentinels, and then Nimrod shows up. Right now, Nimrod, I love this portrayal of Nimrod. He is more humanized than he has been in
I
the
love it.
past, and it. There's a lot of theories I have reading this. Like as a longtime X-Men reader, I'm like, oh my gosh, of course that makes sense because Nimrod was made from Master Mold, and Master Mold knows of the 12. That's why he's known. So I mean, he can do whatever he wants to, and it would all make sense. At least in this dork's head, I'm like, of course that makes sense. So he is fighting Apocalypse, like the toughest mutant ever, right? Like, I mean, one can argue that he's not, but he really is the strongest of all. And Apocalypse gets he doesn't go down without a fight. I love this fight. I love like Apocalypse is usually the guy that sits down on a chair. You always see him sitting on a chair behind the scenes doing things. Like he's not a dude that's like face to face. So I love when he throws down with Nimrod. That's one of my favorite parts about this issue. And man,
I like the fact that Nimrod is they've given him kind of like an Ultron vibe. Like if you remember
from Age of Ultron, absolutely, I agree with that.
I'm getting that vibe from him where he's really cocky, and I think that cockiness is really going to play into it because he's so overconfident. There's a few panels that we'll get into in a little bit where it totally displays like he is so far up his own ass that it's like he doesn't think he's touchable, basically.
Yeah, and I really like that. I like that character because we don't know if we're dealing with the same timelines anymore, right? Because we know we start with there's year 0, year 10, year 100, and year 1000. But we don't know exactly where and when those timelines are because that's kind of what we've guessed because I mean when they threw a wrench in when they did House of X,
right,
book 2, then it was like, okay, am I even reading about the same timeline? I mean, it's just thoughts, right? So of course at the end, if you all remember when I broke down the timeline, I went all dork with y'all and of issue 2 of Powers of X or Powers of 10.
Yeah.
I said that Moira, her 9th life, like it was like ... like she hadn't died, she just kind of disappeared. Well, come to find out, that's what Apocalypse was after. Apocalypse and his horsemen were after Moira. They were trying to find her. So by now, Wolverine gives her all the information on Nimrod. It's embedded in her. And then, of course, he pops the claws, kills her, and she dies.
And that's the end of that timeline.
And that's the end of that timeline. And I love that they went back to this. Told y'all this was important. Where's Jess at? I know he got a headache. By the way, the Mighty Maddie is sick tonight. Jess just couldn't do X-Men anymore. It was giving him a headache, and I completely get it. I think it will make so much more sense to him when he reads it all in collected edition. Honestly,
I think it will. I mean, this episode, not this episode. These issues had to deal with a lot of space stuff, so you know how Jess feels about space.
Apparently, I didn't know that was a thing with him. So we start again with Life 9, and this is all the stuff that was missing from Life 9. So we go through all her years.
Right.
And in year 50, Nimrod comes online. and then it goes through the first generation of Sinister's mutants. So she lives a long time. Because I think what's important here is Moira and Apocalypse formulate a plan to eliminate Nimrod. So that's been the plan all along.
Mhm.
And Moira dies after receiving the Nimrod origin files. So now they know how to stop Nimrod. But Nimrod is one of those things that is, forever. It's unlike the Sentinels, he's supposed to happen, apparently. He's one of those things that's supposed to happen. So she dies in 123. And just
Yeah.
like I thought, and a lot of people thought online,
Right.
that was the ninth life. So now we're on life 10. Or one can assume life 10, right? We don't know for sure.
Right. Which kind of makes me wonder, what are we going to do for Powers of X going forward? Are we just going to see the
Let's
fallout of that?
let's talk about that. Because I
Yeah.
wanted I wanted to talk about that because you've seen the poster, right? The Mark Brooks poster of all the different characters. Like everybody, including me, was like, "Oh my god, that's Alex Summers! Oh my god, why is he a kid? Why is Wolverine there as Weapon X and Wolverine?" Right?
Mhm.
There's all the, and then that's the first time we saw Cardinal and Rasputin.
Right. Yes.
So
Yes. Yes.
I'm hoping that the next issues of Powers of X 10 will be um, the characters that are still on that poster from another time. Can I see that? From another timeline.
Mhm.
By the way, this is very important. This has nothing to do with issue. When you send me your address, please make sure you send me the correct address. I'm gonna have to get in touch with this person because I just got your comics back. So it's very important. As much as I love you guys, shipping is not cheap. So please make sure you send me the correct address if you're a winner. Um,
Yeah. Was
so
that a US? Was that a US package?
yes, I love
Oh.
the please be careful, fragile, do not fold. I have no idea where this thing went through. Good gosh, I'm going to put it in a freaking box. Anyway, uh, so I'm hoping those other characters show up. Like each issue is a different timeline. Maybe we get Lifeline 6, right?
Mhm.
Maybe.
Mhm.
It's just a theory that I have, but I would love to see that. Cuz that poster, and another thing to keep in mind too is this is the beginning. Oh, yes. Yes, I want to see that, right? Yes. Nobody remembers that guy, the third Summers brother. That's right.
It's great.
Um so this is the beginning, right?
Mhm.
This is the 12 issues that leads up to Uncanny, and he is writing Uncanny. So I don't think a lot of these things that we're introduced to here are going to be wrapped up.
No.
Yeah,
No. 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 No.
this is yes, that's right. Because I get uh, messed up addresses is the reason why my cousins always win the contest. That's right, Drew. I hope you win tonight, Drew, so you can tell everybody that we're not related. Rick Nelson, the Uncanny Omar. Can we talk about this version of Apocalypse? I need a series about him, Moira, and his X-Men. I would love that. And we know we're gonna get some, right? I mean, when Secret Wars came out, we got Secret Wars miniseries. When House of M came out, years later, we still got House of M stuff.
Yeah.
So Age of Apocalypse, we every anniversary. I mean, if a character is interesting enough and they sell well enough, man,
Oh, they are going to be mining this for years to come. Like it's insane.
yeah,
You're
absolutely.
gonna, yeah, you're going to get so many damn spin-off series out of these
Yeah,
characters.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I love it because I love these characters. This is a good question. When are you going to send out the variant? Are you gonna call me out, man? You gonna call me out on a live show like that? No, I'm just kidding. I explained it earlier. You weren't there, but anytime that Marvel sends me something, I'm adding to your pile that you won. So any variant that they send me, I'm at like this is somebody's pile right here of variants. So whatever they end up sending me, I will be happy to add. I'm not saying you're going to get a full set or anything, but whatever they send my way, I'll be happy to add to your pile. And then at the end, when everything is done, when the whole series is done, I will ship it out to you. And that's how I'm doing this. So I don't have to send you. I don't want you to miss out on like if you're missing out on issue 4. I want everybody to win, except me and the postal service apparently. Um, so that's I really enjoyed this issue. This is what I was waiting for. This is the actual payoff to the secret that's been going on, right? And I love how They go so well together. Because at first you're reading House of X and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, first issue. Oh, second issue, Moira. Oh man, what is this? How does this tie into Powers of 10? That's in the future. It's not even the right future from the same timeline. I love that.
Yeah. I dig I dig that. I dig what he's doing as far as like the different timelines and how he's setting things up.
Right, right.
And what you're starting to see, I think, is that thing that Hickman does where he does a lot of setup and it takes a while to get to the payoff. Thankfully, this is only a few issues. But we're starting to get to that payoff. All the setup that he was doing for the past how many 4 issues? Yeah, we're up to four because it's 2 and 2. We're starting to see the payoff of that, and now we're at the halfway point of this huge story. Um, and I'm actually it rejuvenated my interest in the story these past 2 issues. Where I'm like, all right, we've got some forward momentum. Things are going forward, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think this is one of those things like a lot of Hickman stuff that once it's collected and it's all said and done, this is going to be one of those where years down the line we're going to look back on it and go, man, that was something special. Like that was the kickoff for like a really special set of X-Men books that came out of that.
Yeah, one of the questions I got was, do you think that this is going to have long-term effects? I absolutely do.
Oh yeah,
I absolutely. This is House of M
yeah,
style of ramifications that we're going to see
yeah. No,
for
I
a long
agree.
time coming. Whether they stick with it or whether they keep using these characters once Jonathan Hickman leaves. I mean, they get a good right. They get some good talent in there. These stories will stay for as long as you want, or as
Now,
long as people keep buying them.
now, have they said how long is Hickman writing for Marvel or like on the X book? Is
I
there like
heard 2 years, but I'm honestly I don't know. I haven't.
yeah,
I only read the first few interviews with him because I was excited, and that's the one where I quoted him like, "Oh, this is not an alternate timeline, or this is not a time travel story,
hmm
but it could be an alternate timelines and time travels story, plural." So
well, yeah. I mean, he's set up like what 10 different timelines for Moira. Like that could
I
be a
don't know. Like I was
yeah,
just thinking about this, and I know I'm not a writer, but I was thinking about how long would it taken me to set this up
yeah.
from a writer's perspective. How much research would have? Because I mean, he is not. By the time we get to House of X, and I'll show you all some stuff here. Like he is not bullshitting around. Like he's
No,
not just making up stuff. He's taking stuff from the past. It's not coincidence, and adding to it. And damn, it's so good, and it's so just like the fine line that he's walking there of like, okay, he's making his own stuff, but not really. I think he's just adding to this mythos. Oh, it's wonderful.
no,
Like I
it genuinely
haven't been this excited since Astonishing X-Men.
it genuinely feels like like he must have. This is not an easy feat to do what he's doing right now, and I will give him all the credit for that because it genuinely feels like when you take everything that he's doing right now, there are so many different timelines, so many different aspects involving this, and I'm pretty sure, like you said, a lot of this isn't just going to get wrapped up in these 12 issues. There's no, I just don't see that there's any way that he could wrap all this up in just 12
No,
issues.
he is. This is literally the beginning.
Yeah,
And
this
I
is
see a Secret Wars kind of ending. And I'm not saying like revamp the universe. I'm saying an epic, like, holy shit, this is coming together or falling apart to make one timeline. And this is the timeline. Okay, so here's the question. The biggest question I have so far is, does this take place after Matthew Rosenberg's run? Did that run even matter at this point? That answer right now is we don't know. Honestly,
yeah.
we we know that they're starting a new series. We have a new Uncanny series. We have several new series that are coming out, but we don't know when and where this takes place exactly.
Mhm.
Because that line kind of ended. Age of X-Man ended, and then Jonathan Hickman came, and well, everything ended. Right? It wasn't just that. It was every series. It was Gambit and Rogue. It was everything. I'm sorry, Mr. and Mrs. X. Every series ended, and some I was sad to see go, but I mean, to make way for this, sorry, not sorry, I guess, because this
Yeah.
is wonderful. I wouldn't hate to see Hickman on this for 4 to 5 years. Me
No,
neither. How long
yeah.
did he write Avengers? Do you remember? Was it?
That was like a 4 or 5 year
Was
run.
I could not remember. The other day I was thinking because he started that stuff with um his run on Secret Warriors. Like everything set up. One thing led to another, and there were little hints about things in between these issues. Yeah, I would love for him to stay 5 years, but I think we have him for at least a couple. And he's co-writing New Mutants too, or
Oh,
at
he
least
is.
the first six, at least the first 6 issues, which we have my boy Cypher on that, right?
That's good. That's
And
good.
he plays like he has pimped out Cypher again. Like Cypher is one of those characters. There's a reason why it was Poor Dead Doug. Like the writers just didn't know what to do with him back then.
Mhm.
So during the fall of the mutants, Louis Simonson offed him, and because his mutant power was to translate languages. When is that ever going to come in handy? Unless you have your own nation and your own language. And holy crap, does that make sense?
What's impressing me also about, because they are not bullshitting around with the X-Men right now, is that the level of creative teams that they were able to amass once this is all done, and the other stories that are going to spin out of this. I mean, short of giving Donny Cates a book, they've got top tier talent on pretty much all the stuff coming out of this.
I'm honestly surprised they didn't give Donny Cates a book.
Give it time. Give it
Like,
time.
yeah, well, we don't have a Wolverine title, right?
Oh,
Right?
okay.
I'm
And
just saying
I
we
didn't
don't
think
have, and I don't know where Russell Dauterman's going after War of the
right.
Kings, but oh my God, you put Russell Dauterman and Donny Cates
Yeah,
together on a Wolverine book who reads like God Country.
yeah.
Oh shit, dude!
Yes, please.
Bunch of nerds are gonna pitch a tent that day when they find out.
Yeah, I
Like,
honestly,
oh, like seriously, just the thought of that, I would love that. But I
and
don't. But I don't know. I mean, I'm just speculating. I'm just, it's.
my guess is the reason they didn't put Cates on any of the spinoffs is because he's got Absolute Carnage going on right now, and that's a
Oh yeah,
long
he's got a lot on his plate, of course.
yeah, that's a long running event that he's got going on right now. Where did we leave off at? Okay, we were talking about House of X.
Yes, I am. House of X. Again, if you're just now joining, please remember that there's going to be spoilers. As a matter of fact, wait a second. Let's
Giveaway.
do this. I'm gonna do a giveaway right now. So
Yeah.
everybody in the live chat can benefit from this. So I'll do a live chat giveaway. Thank you again for joining us. Hit that like button. Tell your friends, or I guess don't tell your friends if you want to be a part of a giveaway. That was kind of stupid. So I'm gonna be asking a question this time, not to confuse anything, because it's just me and Louise. Please email me your answers. I'm going to write the email address. It is nearmintcon@gmail.com. I'm going to take the first 5 people that email me, okay? The first 5 people that email me. I hope that went through. That is the email address in the chat. Email me there, the answers. In the Powers of 10, let's see if you've been paying attention. In the Powers of 10 timeline, so we're talking about the 100 year, who are the 4 horsemen of apocalypse?
Ooh.
Who are the 4 horsemen of apocalypse? I don't want to hear war, death, pestilence, and famine. I want to know the names, who these characters are. If you can tell me their names, email me. I'll take the first 5 emails. I'm going to fire my email up. Oh boy, what did I just do?
Oh, you're gonna.
This is what Jess hates. I remember when we do this. He's like, why do I do that? I make a mistake. Next one I'll do on the chat. So email me the answers, who the 4 horsemen are. And we will continue, and I'll let you guys know when to stop emailing me. I'll announce the winner here.
Yeah.
I will take the first 5, and I'll do a random number generator on my end and choose it. You know what? I'll make it easier. I'll take the third person that emails me. I'll make it easier. No number generator. The third person that emails me, that's what I'll do. Omar, Uncanny Omar, always ready on the spot. Okay, let's talk about House of X 3. So it was, Powers of 10 2 ended, Powers of 10 3 started, like back to back. That's how you read them. And I cannot wait, by the way, for the collection of this, because I'm sure we will have, we're going to get Jonathan Hickman, how he likes to overlook all his little books, keep the covers in the back, make sure they're mapped correctly. I can't wait for that.
Yeah. He's a picky bitch with that stuff. He's very particular with that type of stuff.
I mean, he does that with his own independent stuff. So I'm good with that. Anytime that itchy, sleepy, grumpy, and happy All you got to do is rewind the episode about 5 minutes before I ask the question, guys. Come on. I got a couple of people already answering me, by the way.
Good.
I'll let you all know when to stop. So now that leads into House of X number 3. Now we're back into our timeline. By the way, these variant covers I love because when the first ones came out, I'm like, oh my god. What was it? It was like Gambit and Rogue, and I'm like, these characters are gonna play a crucial. No, they weren't even in the damn book. Actually, I think these are connecting covers, if I'm not mistaken.
Gambit and Rogue just got married, and they're not even in the background. Like,
No, these are beautiful.
You would at least think you'd
covers
see
are nice. So no, they're not. The main players for real in this are White Queen, Cyclops, Professor X, Magneto. So let's talk about this issue, House of X number 3.
I love White Queen in this.
Oh crap! I have no idea who they are. Don't have floppies in my country. Google. Google.
Articles on this, guys. Like, I was going to websites and they're like, "Oh, the new Horseman of the Apocalypse." I'm like, "Oh, that's cool."
Dude, before this issue even dropped, I think people were talking about it. Okay, so let's talk about this. Can I just say I love the quotes that he always puts at the beginning of these books. This one is, "You make me so proud," and it was the quote by Professor X. Even before I knew who it was, even before it was revealed who he was talking to, I was like, he's talking about Cyclops. Cyclops is his, like, in this timeline right now that we're having, even though they've created this, Cyclops is his go-to boy. Like, seriously.
I love it.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I love that. And
all right.
We saw that last issue where, like, Cyclops was just straight up, all right, let's make it happen. Without question, without anything, he was just, all right, it's going to happen. I was like, yes, okay.
Tifa, I got 4 people. I need one more. To email me.
Go
ahead.
No, I was going to say, can I just say that after the Bendis era, it's so good to have Cyclops back again?
Well, Cyclops is one of those characters that is also very... there's a stereotypical belief that it's like, oh, he's such a douchebag. He's so... He nobody likes Cyclops. He's an asshole. But I think that's because it just... I don't think writers sometimes understand what to do with him, right? Because he has been written like that for such a long time. So it takes an exceptional writer to come in and be like, let's go back to the true roots of Cyclops. Yes, he left his wife and newborn child to go back to Jean Grey. He's done a lot of dickhead things. But at the heart of it all, Cyclops is still the greatest leader the X-Men has ever had. And he has always, wanted the acceptance of Charles.
Yeah.
And I think it comes back to this. So, really quick, the synopsis of this is simple. Professor X, who, once again, we assume it's Professor X behind the Cerebro helmet. Could be Cassandra Nova over Professor X's body. I don't know. I like to think that that's already been played out by a bunch of other writers other than Hickman. So, Magneto and Professor X summon Cyclops and say, hey, we have a mission. You're going to go with these guys, these cats right here. You've got Wolverine, Husk, Archangel, M, Marvel Girl, Nightcrawler, and Mystique, right? And this goes back to that very first issue when Mystique, Sabretooth, and Toad stole that little, what was it, like a USB thing?
Yeah.
From Damage Control, right? Mm-hmm. And it was pretty much the location of the, what was it, Master Mold, where they're making the Master Mold, Mother Mold. That was it.
Yeah.
And Mother Mold, as they found out, that's where Nimrod comes from. That's where everything begins. So we have to, at no matter the cost, stop Mother Mold from being built. So, it goes back to that Cyclops scene from Powers of 10-2, where he's like, does it need to be done? Then it's going to be done, or whatever. I love that line. Right. If it needs to be done, it's going to get done. What a good militant leader. Damn. So he takes this small crew on a spaceship. And have you seen the Dark Phoenix movie? by the way?
No, I haven't actually.
Okay, so that scene where they're in the little space shuttle gave me vibes of the Dark Phoenix movie, and that's not really good vibes to have. I wasn't a big fan of that movie, but okay, I got 7 emails in. So thank you very much, everybody. I will, I'll do a random number generator here while Luis gives his speech, and I'll let you know who the winner is. So thank you everybody that emailed me the answers.
Mhm.
Okay, so this little crew goes off to the far reaches of space, and of course, Hickman loves breaking down, who is who, right? Like you've got the Sentinel Alpha, the Master Mold, Mother Mold, and then the Omega Sentinel. The
Yep.
Omega Sentinel is still hanging around in the year 1000, but we don't know if it's the same Omega Sentinel that's hanging around here, who was a character during my Carries run. My wife just came in the room making fun of me. Seriously, she doesn't really get to see me go.
Nerd.
So yeah, now we have the station that's creating master molds up in space, and I love the design. It's just the master mold head just floating up there in the space station.
Mhm.
And when you read this issue right here, like, did it flip, like the narrative flip on you? Did it seem like the guy making the sacrifice, like you were caught in like a middle of almost like a horror story?
Yeah, I mean, in a way, yeah. Are we talking spoilers?
Let's go ahead and talk spoilers, just in case. Spoilers, everybody. We're talking about House of X #3. It just dropped today.
Okay, so to the best of my knowledge, Nightcrawler doesn't have an ongoing or anything, or he's not really tied into any of the other books and stuff like that. So when he makes his play, I thought, okay, this is where Nightcrawler dies. Like the mission's going to go south in some way, shape, or form. I was fully expecting him to go. So when the event does happen that it happens, it was a rug pull for me. I was like, oh, okay. I kind of didn't see that one coming like that.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool how it was done, right?
Yeah.
You get swashbuckling. First of all, I love the idea of just Nightcrawler with a sword. Anytime Nightcrawler uses a sword, I get all giddy because that's the way that I always see Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler should always have a swashbuckling sword. So you
Yep.
have him teleport. This is why I got vibes from Dark Phoenix in this, by the way. It's when they were like, okay, send Nightcrawler in to scope out the area. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I saw this movie and it did not end well. But no, Nightcrawler goes in there and then he runs into Karima, which is the Omega Sentinel. She's the
Yep.
character from Mike Carey's run. And we don't know for sure, but I almost want to say I think she is the Omega Sentinel in the year 1000. I I don't know yet. I guess we'll find out. And then we have um, this part right here is what I was talking about. It almost does a switch on the narrative where it goes from the X-Men breaking in here to stop this thing that is going to cause genocide to almost sympathizing for these humans, like, oh, the X-Men are coming.
Oh, okay, okay,
And,
okay.
and, and like, there's a lot of people here. Like, she's a scientist, this guy, and he's like, we should have had kids. And then he decides, this it's whatever it takes to make
Yeah.
this world a better place. And
Boom.
bam,
Yeah.
he yeah, boom's a better sound than bam. I don't know what I was thinking. And then he blows up the Blackbird. Well, I'm sorry, the ship. Holy crap. And
Okay.
like I know, okay, obviously the X-Men are not dead, but I'm
No,
just like,
no.
even but I'm like, no. I got so caught up in this damn story that I gasped.
You were 7 years old again, Omar. Oh no,
I was a little kid again, believing that my characters would stay dead. And how foolish of me.
I mean, as far as the human thing, that for me at least, it was a bit of a touching moment, but they didn't establish those characters enough for me to actually care. When they went, I was like, oh man, that kind of sucks. But at the same time, I feel like if they had spent a little more time just fleshing them out, I would have been like, ah, damn, like, that kind of sucks. But at the same time, you understand their viewpoint because they are technically facing extinction, for lack of a better term. Um, they are the mutants are growing again at an exponential rate thanks to everything that Charles is doing and Krakoa and everything. And they've estimated that yeah, we are going to go extinct. So I get their perspective of it, and I really dig that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I love that because I mean that's good writing though, right? I mean that's what Claremont would do. That's classic. And I go back to Claremont because he is my X-Men writer. But it's one of those things that happens in comics, and when it happens, I forget that all these little lives that are affected, do
Mhm.
matter. Like it's so weird to think about that, right? Because at first you're like, okay, these guys are bad. They're building something. It's going to cause genocide to all the mutants. Wipe them out.
Yeah,
Who cares? But then you humanize the characters, and I'm like, oh man, they just started a family. They should have had kids. Damn it, X Men! Why are we killing people? Then I'm like, what? Whose side am I on? I love that. The 35 plus years reading comic books, and I still get like that. They
yeah.
still trick me into caring about somebody that I really shouldn't.
He's 3 days away from retirement.
Right. Getting too old for this shit. But yeah, but certain writers can do that. They can pull at the
Yeah.
heartstrings when I don't really care about the characters. So overall, what did you think of this? It's kind of hard to rate these because honestly, Powers of 10, 2 and 3 go so well together. But
Yeah.
this is the third set of House of X 3 and Powers of 10 3. I assume it's Powers of 10 still. I mean, you
Hmm.
could totally change that on us later on and be like, no, the whole time it was Powers of X.
Yeah. For me, this, it is, and it's becoming more and more difficult to actually rate these individual issues simply because they are starting to tie in so heavily. And it feels like just one giant story that Hickman just chopped up already into different pieces, which you would think most comics would feel like that, but yeah, comics. Um, for me, these individual issues, I'm gonna give Powers of X, I'm giving it a 9, and I'm gonna give a 9.5 to House of X. I really liked these last two issues. I think they were some of the strongest ones so far. The highlight to me is still the Moira McTaggart issue, which that to me is still like a 10.
Oh,
Consider,
that's
yeah,
the perfect comic book.
like that to me at the end of the
That is
year
the
when we
perfect
do
comic book.
our end of the year list for everything, that's going on there. Like as the best issue that I've probably read this year. That's probably going to go on there. Probably close to Carnage again. Um, but for me, yeah, 9.59 out of 10. It's solid. Just solid all around. Great art, man. I love their rendition of Sabretooth in this. He looks awesome in this, man.
I've always been a fan of that outfit a lot
Yeah,
more than the scrawny. Here, let me show it to you
yeah.
guys. This, of course, is Pepe Larraz.
Yeah, he's crushing it
He
on.
he is the ongoing artist of Uncanny. So
Yeah,
I I can't express how excited I am for all those books to start. Let me just show you guys. This is the Jim Lee outfit that was created for Sabretooth all the way back in Adjectiveless X-Men number 6.
I love that. That's the outfit that I grew up with him
Yeah.
on. So that's
Yeah,
what I
so
love.
this was the outfit that they used in the animated series, right?
Mhm.
This is the Sabretooth that I like too. Just a big, bulky dude. I wasn't a
Yeah.
big fan of skinny Sabretooth from the Mutant Massacre, but that was retcon later on saying that was just a clone, but this is my dude. By the way, I wanted to announce the winner, Steve Sanchez.
Hey, congrats.
Congratulations. Uh, it was the random number generator numero cuatro. You were the fourth person to email me, my brother. So, Steve Sanchez, please email me back your shipping address. So, congratulations. And I'll have one more lot to give away here towards the end. What did everybody else think? Are you all keeping up with the title? Like, it's Make Havoc. That's who it is. Yeah, Steve Sanchez. There you go, man. Another cousin. I can guarantee you that Steve and I are not related. Sanchez, of course. Man, you do a giveaway and it gets all racist on you.
Next time you just gotta
I
pick a
can't,
white guy name.
I can't even be nice. Larraz should be the artist, but it's Hugh. Oh, really? I really thought it was Pepper Larraz was the ongoing artist on that. Okay, so
uh,
apparently it's Lionel Yu,
that's
which I'm okay with. I think Lionel Yu is an awesome artist.
But he's no,
Congratulations, man.
he's no Pepe though.
No, Pepe's killing it. I love his. It's like a good mix of Stuart Eminem, right?
Yeah.
Oliver Copiel, and the colors grew on me. I really like the colors too.
You didn't like the color?
Not at first. I think
No.
my problem with the colors is that everything looks too shiny, and I think that might have something to do with the art too. Here, for example, just that's a shiny man. I love Cyclops, and that's a great picture. But do you see what I'm saying? Where
Yeah.
is that sun? Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. It's just nitpicky. Like,
Maybe his suit is decked out in chrome or something like that. Like he pimped
yeah,
it
but
out.
that's just sun shining flare to the Abrams art of making movies. So congratulations, Make Havoc. I am going to do one more question. Make it easy for everybody. And this you can also email me at nearmancon. And the next time we do this, I will make it fair and make it for the people that aren't watching live to win something. So I'm gonna write the email address again. This is nearmintcon@gmail.com. That is the email address you should use. All right, so you don't have to even Google this freaking question, guys. This is the email address, nearmancon@gmail.com. What is the White Queen's real name? Because she doesn't want to be called that. When they're out in public with human beings, she wants to be called the White Queen. So that's what she tells the Stepford Cuckoos. I love that part. So what is her real name? Email me there. I'm going to take the first 10 people that email me. So that's an easy one. Even if you can't Google.
Can we get a mini series of Hickman writing the White Queen? Holy crap, that was good.
Anytime she steps into the room, you're like, bam, fame.
My gosh,
so good.
Man, that moment was so good. Like the way, he really gets her voice down. I was like, woof, woof, just cold blooded, man.
No, I love it. I love it. It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
And while that comes in, what are you wanting to see out of the series? While the answers come in, I've got a few already.
To be honest, at this point, I'm not 100% sure what to.
I'm sorry. And by the way, this is open to international too. I forgot to say that earlier. Sorry. So this is the one time that I'm like, all right, I don't mind shipping it overseas. Drew B is automatically taken off of the damn thing. He wrote Madonna. He's even giving me shit in the email. I should have taken his name off. Yeah, what do you want? What are you wanting to see out of this?
It's, to be honest, it's so, he's already pulled the rug under me for quite a few times in the last few issues that we've read that I'm not entirely sure where he's going to go next. I just want him to stick the landing, and obviously whatever he decides to stick with, it's going to set up a lot of things in the future. I'm extremely excited, like we mentioned earlier, for the future titles that are coming out. The Uncanny book, I'm day one. Like I'm reading that day one just to see.
Oh yeah,
just to see how that keeps going.
Mm-hmm.
New Mutants, I'm super excited for that. I hope we get a little bit more also of like, which we will, I'm sure, in the next few issues. What was it, year 1000 or whatever it is? Like super, super far into the future, where we haven't seen much of that yet either.
I think that's what the next few issues will probably be about.
Yeah. So I'm really excited to see where he goes with this. There's, like I said, a lot of momentum, and I'm happy for it.
One of the things that I noticed in the solicitations was for Excalibur, right?
Yeah.
And one of my pet peeves has always been, I hate when good guys or bad guys go good. Like, I don't mind a few characters. I'm okay with people like Magneto. It took years for them to get there. There was quite of a build up and things like that. But I like Apocalypse as a villain. I've never liked him not even in the Executioner song when he teamed up with X-Man to take out Mr. Sinister and things like that, or Strife. I'm sorry, but I like him as a villain, and that's the way he should be. Again, if you missed the question, I'm waiting for a couple more answers. It is, what is the White Queen's real name? And email me at nearmintcon@gmail.com. I just need 2 more people, and then I can do the random 2 more because Drew B did not give me the right answer.
Do you see him popping back up again anytime soon? Like after this initial series is done?
Apocalypse?
Yeah, in a big
He's
way.
he's in the Excalibur. That's why I was going with this. He was in
Yeah.
the group shot of Excalibur #1, along with Betsy Braddock. Not Quanon, but Betsy Braddock as Captain
Mm.
Britain, Rogue and Gambit. So it's pretty interesting. The lineup is then Apocalypse. Like, why is Apocalypse? So have things been rewritten, which I would be cool with?
Yeah.
Have things been rewritten? Like, where's Brian Braddock? Why is he not Captain Britain anymore?
It's just a different timeline that Hickman's going to do this. Who knows? Who knows what he's got planned?
Only Hickman and Marvel know, because that shit's already been solicited, brother. That stuff is out there. The trade paperbacks have been solicited
Already?
already. Yeah, they're coming in beginning of next year. They are coming.
Man, they are not fucking around with this.
No, and I'm happy because like a lot of people, I'm happy that they're going straight to oversized hardcover with this series. Like
Yeah.
for anybody that has not been able to read this, that has been waiting to read this in collected edition, you don't have to wait long. It's coming straight to oversized hardcover, not trade paperback, not uh, not a standard hardcover.
Mm-hmm.
It's all 12 issues collected in the God. I'm gonna ban Hayden McKee, the January Jones. Oh man, that's some bad casting there. All right, I got all the emails. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right, now I need to do the random number generator. Good luck, everybody. So the title that I'm honestly the most excited about is New Mutants.
Yeah.
The fact that he is co-writing New Mutants. Oh man, I'm excited to see where that series goes. In those characters, because you've got Magic, you've got Generation X characters there. You've got Magic, Sunspot, Mondo, Cannonball, Cypher. No, I'm sorry, Cannonball's not part of that. Wolfsbane, Karma, and Moonstar.
Mm.
And some of those characters, the last time we saw them, were dead.
Well,
All right, random generator was number 7, and that is 1, 2, 3, 7. Congratulations, Tim Klein. The correct answer was Emma Frost. So thank you all for entering the contest. I will be just email me at that same email your mailing address, and as Marvel sends me these, like I said, it's not going to be a full set, but whatever they end up sending me, I will be happy to send your way when this is all said and done, along with other little variants that they send me. So it is my pleasure. It's a way to thank you all for watching, and thank you again to David, Gabriel, and Marvel for sending us some of these all these variants, not some. So congratulations, Tim. Congratulations, Steve. Drew B, I'm sorry. You don't get banned this week. Maybe next time we do a live show.
I wanted to ask before we wrap up.
Yeah, man.
When was the last time that you felt the New Mutants were good?
Honestly, I liked Zeb Wells' run. I thought his run was pretty good. Yeah, his run was pretty good. And then DNA's run, or Abnett, was it Abnett and Landing that wrote? Yeah, Abnett and Landing wrote that afterwards. And it was pretty solid. It wasn't that bad. But what I really, really liked was the beginning of the Denunzio and Phillips run when they did New Mutants, and then they had New X-Men. But then when Colin Yost came in and said, everybody fucking dies, then that was a different ballgame, and I was into that too. I was like, yes, this is awesome. I know they just killed half of the kids that I really enjoyed, but this is too badass.
Yay, murder.
So yay, murder. But yeah, man, it's such a great cast of characters that it's awesome. Every time I get excited when they join the Avengers, when they join the X-Men, they upgrade, and then they just get pulled back and like, now you're still kids. You're forever. B Kids. This is a really good book too. New Mutants Dead Souls. That was awesome. That was a setup to actually Uncanny X-Men. That was a setup to Uncanny X-Men as well as the Multiple Man series.
Cool.
Good point, Dark Phoenix 474. So that is it. That is it for tonight. Thank you again, everybody, for joining us for this live episode. And if you're not joining us live, thank you for joining us, and leave those comments down below. Next time we do this, I'll make it fair for everybody, and you guys can comment below as to what the answers will be for the giveaway, so you don't have to join the live chat. But I mean, we always appreciate the live chat. So, Luis, my friend, where can people find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at Comics Guide 101 and on YouTube at Comics Guide 101, where I have new videos going up Monday through Thursday at 8 a.m. and Friday nights is a Q&A.
Cool. That's what's up. He's been at this game for a long time. And
Wow.
this guy knows his stuff. So check out his channel if you have not. And you can also find us on Omnibros Live too. I do it on Monday nights, and I think you're on Sundays, right?
Yes, I usually do the Sunday show. I won't. They want me on tomorrow night, but I don't think I can do it because I've got a lot going on right now.
If they make Jessica Chastain Emma Frost, Dark Phoenix could have been decent. Yes, I agree with that.
Good choice.
I don't know what they were thinking. Honestly, that's a whole nother topic. But anyway, thank you everybody for joining us. Remember to click that like button, and that's it. You all have a great night. Remember, if it's classy and cool, it must be near mint. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.